particular sector and focus on one company. GMR Infrastructure is the stock on our radar. Remember, on Friday itself, the government went ahead and announced a gas price hike, and many of these gas-based power producers will of course get hit on the back of that. So let's get the management in now to talk about that. Mr. Madhu Terdal, the Group CFO of GMR International, joins us in the studio to talk about the impact of this as well as on a whole host of other issues. Mr. Terdal, good morning and thanks for being with us in the studio. First, on this gas price hike itself, what is the power sector's shortfall of gas at this point in time, and what is the variable and the total cost of generating power, say at this $8 per MMBTU?
Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Lata. The current gas prices, which is indicated at $8.20, I think it should translate it into around 3.5 to rupees, 4 rupees, depending upon each project's capacity and the efficiency. And add to that about 1 to 1.5 rupees, 1 rupees, maximum 1 rupee 10 paisa. In fact, it may be even 80 paisa depending upon your project cost. So that should come between anywhere between 4.5 to 5 rupees could be your overall tariff. At that 5 rupees today now, as you see, some of the Tamil Nadu, for example, signed at 4 rupees 91 paisa, and UP is now, there are other examples, 5 rupees plus also there are examples. So plus now the government is also looking at blending of the prices with Reliance, with the administered price. So once that happens, I think we should be able to still in a fairly decent position to dispatch the gas. Especially looking at the uncertainty prevailing on the coal side, I think the gas prices, in opinion, of course, it's a question of time when exactly we will be able to get the gas and when we'll start achieving the 65% or 80% PLF, which we have been planning.
Actually,
about.
That was the point. Is there a slip also in terms of availability? Because, I mean, what analysts tell us, we haven't heard this from Reliance themselves, that scaling up at KG Basin is going to take its while, and I think the most optimistic numbers I heard was 20 MMSCMD for FY15. If that is the case, there are enough claimants before that, fertilizer, and there'll be a little bit of steel. There are other claimants. So, I mean, in terms of capacity utilization, at the moment, what is your best guess for your plant?
Our best guess, apart from Rajmandri, we have got another 2 power plants. That is the GMR Energy as well as Vemgiri, where we have got totally around 600 megawatt. We believe that the excess surplus that is being produced by ONGC, Cairn and GSPC should give overall between 10 to 12 MMSCMD surplus during the next 1 to 2 years. So we believe that we should be able to operate at least at around 30 to 40% PLF on the back of these things, these two plants. Now, Reliance gas is your guess is as good as mine, so I don't want to hazard a guess on that. So I believe that, and the best part is these 2 gas plants are completely debt free. We have completely repaid the debt in these 2 plants. So even at 35,
that is Rajamandri and?
No, GMR Energy as well as Vemgiri. Vemgiri is 388 megawatt and GMR Energy is 200. You know, the barge based which we shifted from west coast to east coast. So between this, we should be able to make a decent sum of money. And of course, we believe that Reliance also may spring some surprise they may produce, but I don't want to hazard a guess there.
Okay, then just to finish that question, because you have not been operating Vemgiri, would you be claiming some 480 crore in terms of fixed cost from AP Discom? I understand that you have that option.
Yeah, that is already been there. It is under discussion.
Okay.
You've already put in a request?
Absolutely.
Okay. And you haven't heard from them?
Yeah, it's under discussion now. That is the best we can talk about.
Is the government looking at any kind of subsidy-based mechanism from the power sector? Because we have seen many from the industry, make such representations to the ministry.
I think with gas being at what it is now priced, I believe certain amount of subsidy may be required. And but I think there will be enough of demand. Today, let us look at this. When you are going at 4.5%, 5%, as against 8 and 9%. All these prices are subdued. The moment you start picking up 7 or 8 or 9%, I think this thing, the demand will start picking up. Nobody realized, in fact, even 4 or 5 years when we were talking, people were talking anything above rupees 250 is an unviable proposition. Today, 4.5 rupees is some sort of accepted norm. I think these things will change once we get into the growth momentum.
Okay.
In any case, sir, 8 to 9% growth is not even the even Mr. Montecalle has given up.
No,
that
I'm not telling about it. I'm talking about step by step. Step by step.
All right.
We wanted to just shift focus to the infrastructure space a little bit. You know, this morning things are in the news because Jayanti Natarajan has put in her papers. So there is a hope. Of course, it will take a lot of time. There's a hope that a lot of these stalled projects will now come back on track. Since you are a key participant in this industry and you've borne the brunt of this, this delaying of projects, do you see any revival at all? And how is the situation on the ground now?
I think, of course, I do not want to have any comment on the Environment Ministry and all, but it is a fact that a lot of projects are stalled on account of the various clearances, not only environment, variety of other clearances as well. But what is important is that we have been noticing that a very clear trend is visible in achieving the progress at all levels. But immediate what is needed is some amount of a support to us from Reserve Bank and banking industry. Because that is where all the infrastructure developers are really having a stress, because there is an increase in the project cost, there is a delay in the projects. At least in GMR case, we have completed all the projects. There is no capex involved now. I don't have any capex project. I have all the approval in place. What I need is only the fuel supply agreement in respect of Chhattisgarh, as well as a PPA on the back of it will be able to do. So in our business, at least GMR is very, very well positioned. I don't have any capex requirements. Our equity is completely met, except for maybe a couple of 100 crores. We don't have anything. So that is where we feel that the hockey stick turn has happened, at least in our case. We are not seeing any real much progress. So for 2014, in our opinion, I think it should be one of the good years on the back of whatever is happening on the ground. In fact, if you really look at it, people always talk about the debt and debt-laden company. I think a lot of time these words are being used in a very, very loose fashion. If you at least take our look, we have got overall around 45,000 crore of debt. Of that, there is a 6 to 7,000 crores of cash is there. And our real problem, in any project if you take it, real problem should be on the corporate debt, which does not backed by the cash flows. Project out of 45,000 crores, we have got about 11,000 to 12,000 crores in the airport. They're completely self-liquidating, absolutely no issue at all. Then as far as there is 5 to 6,000 crores in the roads. That is again a self-liquidating. What we have got is around 20,000 crores debt in the energy. Now you can't say a company with small company will have 5,000 crores, big company will have 50,000 crores. That the size of debt alone should not matter. All the energy projects are self-liquidating, in the sense, at the maximum, suppose let us say I have a 10-year repayment, because of the increase in the project, so it will get cleared in 11 years or 12 years. It will not have a per se any impact.
That point is taken. I take your point entirely, especially because now energy seems to be also getting resolved. Let me come to the other two things that you raised.